Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for October 2nd. Looking at the US-Japanese yen pair, we have a range that we're looking for a high of 106.58 on the high side. On the low side, look for 104.76. Now, I am expecting some resistance to come into this market a little bit lower than our high range at 105.50. As far as support goes, looking for support around this same area. This pair is closed down during today's session, is moving sideways. I think the bias may be to the downside overall, but for the most part, it's just been tracking sideways, over the past several weeks now. Let's take a look at the Euro-USD pair. This particular pair is moving lower. Obviously, it moved much lower today. I'm expecting it to move even lower during this next session to close down overall for the week. Now, I am expecting this session to be between 140.69 on the high side, on the low side 136.99. Look for some support around the 137.50 area, and also look for some resistance a little bit higher at 138.77. Now, switching over to the pound US dollar, this particular pair, of course, closed down and is moving down. All indications are that it's going to continue in that direction. I'm expecting this next session to be between 177.64 on the high side, on the low side 174.94. And like I said, this particular pair, we had a trigger saying that it was going short on this particular session, and as you can see, it has indeed done that. I'm looking for this next session. Hopefully it will break this low. If it does, we should see it move on down to some previous lows over here that we can look for as potential targets. And if we get a break below that, well, then the sky opens up a little bit wider for us to profit from. But we'll just have to wait and see on that one. Now, looking at the Swiss, looking for the range to be between 114.49 on the high side, on the low side 112. Now, I am looking for some resistance to come in a little bit lower at 113.80, and some support to come in a little bit higher than our bottom range at 11300. This particular pair is moving higher, has a bias to the upside. I expect it to move higher. I don't know if it will close higher than this, than today's session's high or not, but we'll just have to see. The non-farm payroll announcement could affect that. Of course, going into that, today we saw that the the European Central Bank had their rate decision. As expected, they held their rates at 4.25%, and the pound had their nationwide housing prices for September being released, and they were worse than expected at negative 1.7%. And but as far as year to date, it was came in as expected at negative 12.4%. So that helped buffer the monthly news. Was the year to date. Now, looking ahead till tomorrow, the main focus will be on the non-farm payroll, and that's going to be at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. The U.S. is releasing their unemployment figures. The consensus is that the rate has, of course, increased from negative 84K to negative 95K. So definitely keep that in mind. It's a great time to grab a few pips, especially if the news is unexpected. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.